We're Loughlin.
Hey. Hello, everybody.
Interesting choice.
It's an interesting choice. You gotta try something new every week. Lately, I've been a big fan of trying to stretch my my vocals out. Like I do these yawns. This is one of my new quarantine things at home with the girlfriend is to try and yawn like so long that it just is painful for every. Like I'm like. And I'll just keep that going for like 90 seconds.
You got to play games.
And it's super... She knows it's a bit. I know it's a bit. I just stare into her eyes while I do it. She looks at me like, are you having fun?
Jesus. It's a delay, so I'm at like the point where you're doing it.
Yeah. I do. And I like to see how long I can go. I can go pretty long.
Yeah. It's kind of like you're kind of battling, like it's a relationship battle in a weird way. You're like flexing your.
I think it's more. Yeah, it's like it's not battling. It's that male like it's like chest thumping. It's like look how much breath I have. You know, look at the guy you chose.
Yeah, yeah.
I can breathe longer than the other guys. Hard. I can yawn.
Think about how good that could be if I was head of hunt.
It's also like a good idea about like quarantine games. Like what are we good at now that we sit at home all day? I can yawn longer than anybody. When it comes to being tired, I'm number one.
Yanni.
I'm one of the best. So welcome to the show, everybody. We're in fucking day 70-ish of quarantine nation. The world is officially like completely changed now. It's you know, what the fuck? It's like 2020. It's been 70 days now is creeping up to 100 days, which is like a third of a year.
I know.
We're really closer to like a quarter of a year.
It's pretty crazy, right?
But it's like, that's a significant amount of time that we've been living this way. You know?
I don't know how people are doing it like without smoking weed, because I know like weed has screwed up my perception of time.
Alcohol, food.
I feel like that stuff doesn't really warp time the way weed does, though. Because
I think alcohol does.
Does it? Yeah.
I think alcohol does, not in the sense of like, not the way weed does.
Yeah.
Weed is fucked up.
If you told me this was 4 weeks, you could convince me.
Oh, you could convince me too. We were just having this conversation last night, me and my girl. I was like, in some ways, like when I remember legitimately asking like 4 or 5 of my inner circle, you included, do you think this is the end of the world? Like I was like posing that question to people in a very real way.
Yeah.
Like, do you think this is it? Because it had that feeling, right?
Especially at first, they're like 100 million dead. The numbers they were saying at first,
when the NBA players were fleeing the court and and the Empire State Building had the siren on top, I was like, like everyone's gonna die.
Didn't that end up being for like healthcare workers?
It was, but
poor choice. Poor fucking choice.
Part of me thinks that may have been like a spin. I don't know. They talk. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I think probably was, but that freaked me out. Like wrong, whatever they meant. That was like I took that the wrong way.
Yeah.
But that feels like a long time ago. That feels like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
But
I barely remember that.
Yeah, but like if someone was like, "Yeah, you did stand up like a month ago and a month and a half ago," I'd be like, "Yeah." But now it's like creeping up to a really long time, and
they don't want to let it go.
Gets more and more normal all the time. People are getting more and more, you know, like on Mother's Day, we were all eating dinner, like, you know, sitting distanced a little bit, but it was like, we were all eating dinner together, like in my sister's house. And I was like, 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't even visit my parents.
Yeah.
A week ago, I visited them once. Now we're in a house eating. Like, what the fuck, you know?
But that's just because they came out so hard with this and freaked everyone out. Like I think they said 100 million people might die. I think they said that.
Well, I hate to admit this, you know, like because this is like something we say on the show all the time, like about how you can't be moderate anymore. You can't be in the middle of anything.
It's all binary.
But it's like, you know, Trump, as I fucking think the guy's an idiot. Like, full disclosure.
Yeah.
I think he's a piece of shit. But he's not wrong in saying that the CDC and WHO has been wrong.
Yeah.
He's just not wrong. He can't be wrong all the time. Like, you can't you can't be like, if he says it, it's wrong. Then you're just a fucking idiot, you know? Yeah. You're just as big an idiot as he is.
Yeah.
And then it's just, I don't know. It's just this whole kind of thing where then it becomes such an anti-Trump thing that is a legitimate problem now, where it's like, guys, focus on...
A fucking virus is becoming political.
Yeah, it already has.
Masks are becoming way gone
political. Because the fucking horse is so far out of the barn with that it's like, you truly now cannot know. Like, we're in like Hitler blowing away scientists who disagree with him phase of this catastrophe.
But people are doing it. It's not
not a gun anymore. It's not like Hitler with the gun, like, get out of my office, bloom. It's more like, you're fired, and in the press, the press will kill you for me by just discrediting you. You know, so it's kind of like, I think everyone's kind of wrong. You know, it's just the politics has bled now into science, where it's like, well, they won't believe us if we just tell them the truth. Yeah. So we have to exaggerate the truth to scare them into believing us. Yeah. And now people figure this out months later, that it was a little bit overblown, or maybe not. Maybe that's the other problem.
Yeah, maybe all this stuff worked.
That's the other thing. So American. We've said this several times. So American of us to be like, oh, what the fuck? Like, we all stayed in our house and the rates went down, and now maybe the rates just went down on their own. Maybe not, because we stayed in our house and all stopped working. I looked outside my window. I didn't see any cars, but that's just my block. Maybe 2 blocks over, everyone's out. You know, it's just... Like, we've kind of displayed how much we're all living in our own personalized bubble. Like, our own, that we want. We're doing it too.
We're customizing
We
everything.
all are.
Yeah. Oh, I hardcore do it. Dude, I have a TV in my bathroom. I have 5 TVs here. I have created the bubble of bubbles.
Have you heard this story about exactly, like, the dude who, like, you know, it's funny. This is what you can do. This is one of the beauties of being alive in 2020 is, like, one end of the spectrum is like, a man can be a woman if he wants to.
Yeah.
That's one end of the spectrum. Another end of the spectrum is like, a white guy who's bored can be a blacksmith in his backyard if he wants to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And another guy can be a furry animal and fuck other furry animals if he wants to. And another guy can dress up like, Superman on the weekends, and another guy is in a paintball league.
Black guy fuck his wife.
Yeah, and has a Pornhub page. And another guy,
there's a lot of flavors.
You can be anyone, any pro wrestler on the weekends, like
me and you could choose to become a tag team in the professional
and do it. And work in breweries are run by guys. I mean, everyone just does whatever the fuck they want, because we live in a capitalist utopia where, like, if you have money, you can buy a website, you can buy a location, and you can have a business. Like, if you want to do it, you can do it if you have the capital, right? But it's like that one end of that spectrum is the dude who's wants to be a woman and is trans. The other end of that spectrum, it's like when you're trying to
we're still recording.
When you're trying to do something, it's like you fake it till you make it, you know? Like, if you want to be a star college basketball player, when you're in high school, you're in your driveway, like, imagining yourself playing college basketball. Like, before I had done like 5 open mics, I had a MySpace comedy page that made it look like I was a professional comedian, you know? And I started thinking of myself that way. And I'm an example of, like, manifest destiny. Like, I luckily became that thing.
But there's so many people who also didn't and got to create the same thing too. So
it's a bit more of, like, practical. It's like more of a trade. It's like, well, I tried to get a job, I got the job, I went farther in the field. It has some it feels like a hobby, but it's not a hobby. But, like, fucking paintball and airsoft and even shooting guns at targets is a hobby.
Yeah,
you know. And these dudes,
that's true.
like, so I got myself into believing I'm a comedian. These dudes out there, they get themselves into believing that they're like commandos.
Yeah.
And these other dudes in their basements, not bathing, have themselves believing that they're like scorned geniuses.
Yeah.
Because they're online
the whole world's ignoring them. Like,
they're online like being what they think is clever to each other and then pumping each other up like you're so smart. And it's like our IQs are so high. It's like, no, not only are you fucking ugly and fat, you're dumb too.
Yeah.
But you've just found a group that like you guys all tell each other you're all fucking smart and edgy, but you're also fucking losers. But it's like, and then you have the people who think they're going to be stars. You know, the Instagrammers, they want to be Instagrammers.
Yeah.
You got the people who want to be, and then most of these people punching a clock 9 to 5. Like, yeah, by day I'm a, I run a forklift in a back of a landscaping company, but my real thing is my pro wrestling career.
Yeah.
Or my real thing is,
or I'm a musician.
Or I'm a musician, or even on other levels, like I'm an entrepreneur, like all these people on Shark Tank. You know, like no one just like goes, hey, I'm going to sell my idea to like General Electric. Everyone now goes like, I'm gonna be a fucking mogul myself and go on Shark Tank and bring my 8-year-old with me. We curate our entire existence now, right? And it's never been more on display. I think it was during the election, and now it's like, well, we thought it couldn't get worse. Guess what it is? Because now you have people believe anything. And so like I read this article. It was so crazy to me. This guy got really into that Pizzagate, like fucking Comet Pizza. Did you hear about this?
No, not this guy.
This guy, like normal. He was a fucking one of those like Christian dudes. He's like a pastor, youth pastor, has like 3 kids.
Just really synced up with him.
No one in his life knew that he had this obsession 2 hours at night before he went to bed with like 4chan and like reading about like all the conspiracies with Hillary Clinton. And it was like, you know, it's like one of those things. It's one of those conspiracies that's so crazy. It was like, there's a pizza place in DC that they get pizza from all the time. And someone was like, well,
they've all been there.
If you substitute,
like the one.
Yeah. And if you substitute the word pizza for naked child, these people are pedophiles. It's code, you know? So there's this whole thing. There's this secret thing in this guy who somehow he's just a pastor. I forget where he's from. I think he's from Southern Virginia. He gets AR fucking 15, full body armor,
and he's gonna fix it.
And one day wakes up on a Saturday and drives 3 hours north to DC, walks in, and he's not like, he's walking through the pizza place casually, but it's America and he's wearing all black and like an AR-15. So people are freaking out, panicking, running out. He gets to the back. He's like, everyone get out of my way. He finds the door that he's read online, like
this is the door,
door that, and all these pictures of it, and it's all changed.
He's gonna save children. He's thinking,
he's
right?
thinking
in his head,
and he's trying to break it, and it won't break. So he fires 2 rounds at the lock. Now taking this crime, like adding 10 years to his possible fucking sentence.
Isn't that kind of just like a movie thing too? Where you're just like,
this whole thing is a movie thing. He's living in a complete fucking fantasy. He thinks he can't call the cops, you know? They're in on it, Paul.
The cops are in.
They're dirty.
It's
I gotta handle this. Pastor Bob from Virginia. So this is like, and I hate to say it, but a lot of fucking people who have guns think of themselves this way.
Yeah.
And not all. I've even thought about getting a gun lately. I think it's like a practical thing, but I'm saying don't act like there's not people out there who think like this.
Yeah.
So he goes, and then he shoots it and he kicks it open, and it's a fucking like 1-foot closet with a bunch of old computers that no one's using anymore. And he in that moment realizes what a fucking idiot he is. I'm serious.
Because he wasn't, in his head, he was never insane. He just got caught up in this thing, and it escalated. And he's a hero.
When he was on trial,
until that
100 hours of witnesses on trial, his mayor, every cop from his town, everyone was like, this dude's a great guy. Like, you cannot put this guy in prison. He just went a little ham on this one. No one got hurt, da-da-da. So anyway, he walks out, puts the gun down, gets down on his knees.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I got some bad intel, he told the cops. Bad intel. So he's already thinks he's like
Intel.
Navy SEAL. Got some bad intel on this one, boys. It happens to all of us, doesn't it? All us heroes. So they like he only gets 4 years in prison, which I think that's the perfect sentence. It's like a super long time.
Yeah, it's a lot for just shooting a gun off and no one gets hurt.
It's a lot for shooting a gun off. It's more than anyone who's never been to prison can even fathom.
Yeah.
But it's not going to ruin his whole life. And it's I don't know. I think that's like
he
perfect.
He needs to be fucking punished.
He needs to be punished. Completely unacceptable.
Yeah.
In every way. And it's bad guns. Like you brought a machine gun into a pizza place filled with kids on like the place is across the street from like 14 public soccer fields. So everyone takes their kids there after soccer. And anyway, so it's just kind of this great example of how this guy was not
being insulated too. Like not if one other person, if one friend knew about it, just like, dude, like it's fun to be into conspiracies, but
it's so easy to do too. You can go online and just find your people, and anyone who disagrees, you're like, fuck them, fuck them.
Chamber,
hater.
Yeah.
You know?
You libtard.
or vice versa. This guy, red pill this guy, you know?
Yeah.
And it's bad on both sides, but I do feel like the blue side of it plays like a little more of the old game where it's like we're gonna pretend we're gonna make you think you made these choices yourself. Whereas like the red side is a little bit more like our way or the highway. But are you with me or against me? Because I see a lot on my Twitter replies like they're all in agreement until someone steps a little out of line and then they pounce on that guy or girl. And then I'm like,
I like it.
Yeah.
It's trial. But we've been afforded, like, to kind of get back to your point, I think we've kind of been afforded this because we lived in like this, since basically like World War II, like this great era. No one got sick. We had no sicknesses.
Yeah.
Like just capitalism through the roof. Like just we couldn't lose.
Oh, it's easy. Like even everything's been made easier. Like even the stock market now is thinking, it's like, it used to really have to think about everything, and every day there's some new technology. Like you look at a stock, it tells you exactly. It's like it's like, well, we just read 100 articles, and and 49% of them say hold it, and 29% of them say sell it, and it's like that data is so valuable, and,
crazy,
and it's just right there for you. Everything has been made easier.
Right? Is that AI?
It just takes all the tweets and all the
and
tips
collates it,
and collates it.
Keywords or whatever.
Yeah, puts it all together.
Crazy.
And in every stock right now, I guarantee you right now, if you got Robinhood and just bought the ones that say buy and held it as long for, like, if you just followed that algorithm, you would make 12%, 15%.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like no matter what you bought.
Yeah.
You could do better, but I think like at worst loss, you're going to lose. You're going to make better.
But isn't that kind of scary though, that that's just algorithm.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's sort of like economical and social. It's like if you can just decide to make money, the intelligent people are going to make money because they're going to make that decision. Yeah. Whereas the people who kind of don't make good decisions are just going to slowly get poorer and poorer and worse and worse. It's like, this is what I was saying about this. So there's the $1,200 stimulus that everybody got.
Yeah. Or almost everybody.
Then there's like the $600 a week thing that anyone can get if they go online and file taxes last year. So you're already cutting off like a shitload of like kind of like bums of society because a lot of people don't file taxes.
Or older people, like low earners and stuff like that too. Because some of that.
I think in that case you could still do it though. Like if you didn't file taxes for like a good reason, you can get it. But if you don't file tax, because there's still a file that's like a no file.
Yeah.
Where you go like no file, but it's still on record. But if you're like one of those people who hasn't like talked to Uncle Sam in like 3 or 4 years, or the IRS,
they're not letting you dip into.
They're not letting you dip into this. But pretty much, if you go to the website, and it's funny, I got it a little quicker because I'm like a Mass resident, and I had like all my income tax in Mass. My girl's from out of state, so it took like a few more things.
Yeah.
But I was watching her go through it, and I'm like, there's like, I always think in any government procedure that takes place online, there's like dummy tax that's on the website where it's like they make it hard.
Yeah.
They add steps that are difficult.
So it eliminates a 10%.
I think it eliminates that 20% of like Mountain Dew drinking, like fuck this. I mean, and people say this. People would hear me say that and go, "That's elitist." Yeah. I'm that guy. I fight that guy every day. That's why I know. That's why I know why this stuff is there, because it's there. It's not just Mountain Dew guy. It's also a guy who drinks coffee. It's also a guy who drinks fucking tea. It's like guy who just can't handle bureaucracy and like bullshit. I'm sure there's chicks like this too, but I don't know many. It's like you're just like, it's like more fucking questions.
You already answered this question,
and then it'll. I've seen this a million times, especially with the health insurance through the state.
Yeah.
It's not just like a lot of stuff. It's like you click it and it'll break. And it's like if you don't kind of know HTML a little bit and how websites work and like maybe I need to like click this. It's really difficult at times and fucky, and like I swear I'm like, this is intentional.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theory all the way, but I always thought this is to cut out the people who just can't you got people who are dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just life. But then you have other people who are just kind of lazy.
Yeah.
And both of those people, that's got to be probably 12, 15% of people who are like, I'll just die.
Yeah, I'm good.
That's what I feel like. I remember when I was trying to get health insurance through the state, I was like, this is so hard. They definitely hope you quit halfway through this process. You could just feel it at every turn. They're like, you could quit. Click this button to quit and go back to having a fun life. Click back to go back to chilling. Stop dealing with all this frustration. You'll be all right.
This is stressing you out, bro.
Yeah. It was like, I remember thinking, and I saw my girl with the unemployment. I was like, so that's how it is right now. It's like $1,200 for everyone, $600 a week if you're like, if you got 10 minutes to go to a website and then go back every week and click a button a couple of times. Yeah. But it's like, you know how many people, and they don't really blast that out.
Yeah, they haven't at all.
And it feels like that.
I think you're right.
And then the other day they were like, oh, by the way, bringing back the Patriot Act and we can search your internet history without a warrant. And
aliens are real or something.
And by the way, like the Democrats are cool with it too. So like, what?
Yeah.
Wait, that's a big deal. Bernie Sanders didn't even show up to vote. He could have been the one guy to stop it, but he's your hero. So I don't know what happened. Oh, they're not all in on this shit together, but we're getting butt fucked.
Yeah.
They're
not trying as hard to hide it from us. That's what it feels like.
Well, I think it's like people think, I think the conspiracies give them too much credit. It's just a mess. America's a business, and it's like
it's run by fucking dumb people.
Right now it is. Right now it's being run by like a committee of shitheads.
It always is though. Everyone's dumb. Everyone's greedy and selfish and smells like shit. Like everyone's terrible. Like that's all it really is. I think the websites suck. I like that fucking theory. I love that.
I've had that theory for a few years
because when they just go lowest common denominator. When they bid on these things, they get people like when I used to do HTML, I did some like local government thing. So like they just get like the smallest.
It makes sense, but I remember like, especially with this health insurance thing, I've had it now. It works now, you know. I've had it for years. I don't want to complain about it too much because it's a good system once you get in it.
Yeah.
But it was so hard to do, and it was like, I remember I'd be like an hour into this paperwork, and it would crash.
Yeah.
And just
built so wrong.
And you're like, what the fuck, man?
I guess I'm gonna die.
I guess I'm just gonna die. I remember I even tried doing that bit, but it was like too dark. But anyway, I think that's enough of that kind of talk. But
there's been some crazy news that's popped up. There hasn't been a lot of news, but
it's the parallel universe.
Yeah, did you see this?
Yeah, I just saw it.
I've read it over, and I've read a bunch of other articles, and I don't really understand how they monitor this. But
this is like, all right. So actually, this lines up with what we were just talking about, because as I was saying, we can just curate our lives, right?
Yeah.
That's not like because we've evolved to that point. It's just that science and technology has evolved to such a point that it's trickled down Like, their old shit that they don't even want anymore, we have. And we're like just going ham with it. We're like, oh my God, let's do a fucking podcast. Let's like do porn. Let's do YouTube shows. Like, we're like down here playing with all these technologies that they've had. But like, technology is moving at this. This was basically my thought when I saw this morning. I was like, all right, I think we've finally reached the point as human beings where we're technologically advancing at such a rate that's faster than the rate that we can evolve with it.
Yeah.
So
it's outpaced us.
Like, we can't handle this information. If they found some way to like play with this, it could be the end of everything. But what scared me is I was like, that's not gonna stop them from playing with it.
No, of course not. So many people, this just created so many people that are gonna look into it. Like that's like all that,
all that stuff. I'm like, you know, there's that theory I don't like to even think about too much about like how the world like ended in 2012 and all this mayhem that's happened is just some sort of like we landed in the shitty comic book universe or something. But
it was wacky before that. That's the only thing like I hate about that. Like I remember it. It was fucking wacky before that.
I know,
like,
and even the pandemic. But it's like if we get a pandemic, UFOs, and an alternate universe, and Donald Trump.
Plus, they don't know. There's part of the magnetosphere that protects us that's weakening, and they don't know why. So they're sending up a bunch of probes.
Yeah. Well, all right. So
the sun's also at a minimal output point, but they don't expect an ice age.
Can I idiot hat? Can I idiot hat? Let me take off my regular hat. Let me take off my regular hat. Idiot hat for a second. In my wildest moments during this pandemic, when I'm like so high at night, right? I'm like, and I hope we're not watching this clip in a month saying Noonan was right again, because I don't want to be right this time, Paul. Like this time, I want to be wrong. But in my darkest moments, sometimes I think the coronavirus is not, it's because an alien came and landed here.
All right.
And like, it may have landed in China, but whatever. It's what caused the coronavirus.
Something jump over.
The coronavirus is just what happens when interplanetary travel happens. It's a virus, super bug, that we can't fucking know or understand because it's from a place we don't know or understand, and from a fucking creature we don't know and understand.
Kind of.
As soon as they're like leaking these little bits of crazy huge information,
parallel universe
all the time, like, oh, by the way, Pentagon says UFOs are definitely real, and that video is definitely real. Not saying aliens are real, but it's something you might want to start thinking about. Also, parallel universes. Get yourself thinking about it. Get yourself thinking about it. We were saying before coronavirus, kind of feels like they're trying to slow roll aliens to us.
Yeah.
I think maybe coronavirus is like, fuck, unexpected consequence of doing business with the aliens. You know, like we were just so close to unveiling our relationship with the aliens.
Then we found this bug that came out because we were fucking them.
Because we were like hanging with them, you know? And the world, that would explain why all the world leaders were like, oh no, it's no big deal, it's not a big deal. Like, and then, so sometimes I think once it's under control, they're going to be like, by the way, like aliens are real and like they're friendly.
They're nice.
And they have a cure for coronavirus.
That's how they'll do it, yeah.
I hope I'm wrong, America.
Or maybe right.
I hope I'm wrong.
Maybe we'll have some alien friends.
Yeah, they won't be friends long.
Nah.
And then they'll be like,
they'll just sterilize us and they'll just take the planet in 40 years and we're all dead.
They're either going to be better businessmen or immune to business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like either like
they've evolved past that.
Yeah, they're either going to be like, you can, like, you're not branding enough, like we can show you super branding, or they're going to be like, you care too much about the brands, we must kill you and start anew, you know?
We've made you a new app.
Do you think isn't that a solid kooky theory though? I don't think.
Have you ever heard the theory that there's high-ranking government officials that are taking ridiculous amounts of DMT and going to like another universe and communicating with aliens, and that's where all of our shit has come basically from.
Whoa!
Basically about the '60s.
I have heard stuff to that degree.
I like that one.
I like that one. I do think though it wouldn't be. I don't know, but I wouldn't. I don't. I also don't feel as good sometimes making predictions about how people would react to things or how like society would react, because I would have thought if you had told me like, oh, there's going to be a virus and they're going to ask everyone to stay in, I would have just said, well, no one will stay in.
Yeah,
everyone
did.
I would have been like, no way, people will do that, and we just did it. Like
I'm both like kind of happy people did, but also terrified.
I know. Well, so there's one of the big conspiracy theories is that it's just all fake and the government's it's a social experiment. It's just like a big test to see what people.
Well, like it could still be a real virus. Like, because other people have said it's like a low key virus, but like a real high key CIA mind experiment put on top of it. Because they even got me, who I'm so fucking selfish. I don't care about anybody. But if like the thought of me giving something to my parents or one of my friends' parents, I'm like, you even got me. You even fucking got me.
It has something for everybody. It really has something for everybody. Fourier had like a really funny meme that he put out where
that was great.
Where he was like, it only,
Yeah, if it's 6'1", you're fine.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
If you're outside, it's good. It's easily transmittable, but not on boxes and like
any groceries. Or
you can get it at stores, but not Target or Walmart. But it's wild.
Jess says the government is way scarier than an alien.
She's right. Jess ain't wrong. She's looking great today, by the way. She's put up a pic of herself by the pool.
Her pool's nice and clear too. She's been fighting her pool for a couple of days.
I mean, she always looks good though, but she's one of those people I think quarantine was good for, like as far as me included. I got a lot more. I'm getting 8 hours every night.
Yeah.
Jess looks like she's getting her 8 hours.
I feel like I've been like stretching for like an hour in the morning. I don't even know how I'm going to go back. I've been doing so many like things that I won't be able to do.
It's going to be an adjustment. I wouldn't say any notable anxiety when I go out and do things, but there's a very weird feeling of like, gotta get back. Like this is not, your rhythm of like just being a person in society is gone. I don't
love being in cars, but I don't like it at all now. Cars have got fucking
just
real
feels
weird
strange.
Yeah, I don't like being in it at all.
For me, as someone who drove so much, I caught myself like, I'm like, man, I'm like drifting a little bit. It's like harder to my secondary driving is not as good. Everything is weird, like riffing, like doing these Zoom shows and trying to be funny like on the spot. I'm like, the gun is jammed.
I feel so bad that you have to do those. Well, they don't have to do them, but
I've done a lot for charity and I'm like, they're great, I did one, man. It was like I didn't find out until after like 1,000 doctors watched it. It's so good. I've done 2 Zoom shows where I'm so happy I didn't realize how many people were watching until after I was done. In my mind, I'm like, no one watches these. And then I have like a pretty good performance and a good time.
Did you see this? Casinos are testing out how they're going to kind of go forward.
Yeah. But like, so what do you think?
I think it's nonsense. Maybe it's really just to make people more comfortable to get back out there. Honestly,
that's what
I don't think it does anything.
I think this is good for the dealer. Benefits the dealer the most. Dealers got to sit there all day.
Yeah,
and fucking like, poker players are gross. But I think the mask does everything that thing's gonna do.
Exactly. If you're worried about it, wear the mask. That's what it is. You're protecting yourself and others. But
so the mask. 75% lowers it, they think right now. Like just general transmission.
Yeah. Not like the dumb masks I'm wearing. I'm not even putting the fucking things in anymore.
I mean, this is what I wear.
Yeah.
This is basically not wearing a mask. Like this is my I'm wearing a mask, I'm not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
But I do think if I cough, like, which I am doing because of allergies, like this is going to keep me from coughing into someone's face.
Yeah. Or if, I just think of the other way, like it's just me picking up something. Like if just walking by, it's gonna knock some droplets down. So
That's true too.
I'm not a big breather.
No, but it is. That is true
light.
too, though. It's gonna be like if it can stop you from coughing droplets out, it's gonna stop that shit. But
don't you think this is the way we get back to normalcy? We just have to do a bunch. You're going to see a lot of plexiglass because just some people are injustifiably
and it's going to be
really scared. Some people are really fucking scared. Like that's what
they
I
should
keep
be.
reminding
Though, like,
myself.
You got to remind yourself that like I have so many people, not necessarily directly, like Dan Bulger, who's probably the closest person to me that I'm like most worried about, like as far as like he's got diabetes. So we were like extra careful around Dan.
Yeah.
And my parents, you know.
Yeah.
But like I know people who like my friend's mother is on chemo right now. Without all this, she'd be wearing gloves and a mask to go grocery shopping.
Yeah.
She wouldn't go grocery shopping basically, but if she did, she'd wear that, right? It's like that person is now on day 70 of like fucking horror.
I know.
Pure. I have another.
Do you
friend
remember when you said like you got a box and you're like I touched the box and I went back to bed and like but if that's literally could be life ending for that person.
For someone with a really weakened immune system. I mean, in chemotherapy is like during this is like well we're gonna give you this drug that like kills your immune system during a pandemic. What do you choose your poison? Die of cancer or die of fucking COVID-19, right?
Yeah.
So it's like people are being forced to make choices like that right now.
Crazy.
And then other people who are perfectly healthy are screaming in the street, I want to fucking...
But I get them too.
I get them, but you gotta like, this is not a time to be that way, I don't think. Like, if you're getting $600 a week and you already got $1,200 for free... I make more money than that myself now. Yeah. It's like, I'd like to go back to work and make the money I could make, but it's just not there to make. Like that's the other thing people I think are confused about. They want to get back to normal. It's not there to get back to.
I'm sick of them saying the new normal too.
That's just as annoying. Shit. Because that to me is defeatist too. Yeah. Saying the new normal is like,
you can suck my dick with the new normal.
Yeah. It's like saying, because I feel like after 9/11, if you had said, like, well, this is the new normal, people would be like, well, that fucking sucks, you know? But now we're like, the new normal.
The new normal, what it should really be, it's another thing they haven't been pumping home at all. People need to take care of their health and need to just fix their fucking own immune systems. I'm not talking about like a person who's going through chemo, but just regular health, like taking vitamin C.
And vitamin D.
Getting vitamin D, getting sun. Like, it doesn't, like...
No, I mean...
Just
that's been a positive. Well, and that's partly why it's like I think hitting poor neighborhoods.
In
like,
New York,
if you're poor, are you gonna buy vitamins?
Yeah, exactly. Are you buying creatine and Joe Rogan on it? $60 vitamin? Yeah, that's a fucking real good point too.
Yeah, you're buying no vitamins and you're eating pizza and ramen.
It's a good point.
And you're living with like 6 people, and you have
before the pandemic, I ate just birds and greens for a year.
Yeah, I meditated.
Yeah, exactly.
I meditated for 45 days straight. Like,
it's a luxury, right?
Yeah, we already have like, but I do think it's a time where you should think of like, and I'm not trying to be like Billy fucking Bleeding Heart here, but it's like, it's not white, black, old, young. It's like there are people in every aspect of every corner of society who you could do a solid for. Like, you would hold a door for an old lady. You won't wear a mask for an old lady? You would hold a door. Like, if you walk in a bank, you see an old lady coming behind you, you'll fucking go, fuck her, I'm me.
Yeah.
I gotta go deposit my check.
My legs are faster and longer than hers.
She had her life. No. 90% of the people watching this shit would hold that door open for the old lady to make her life easier for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So you won't wear a mask to maybe keep her alive.
I can see why people want the quarantine over and they want to be back in the world. I'm kind of there, but I'm not on. I think it's crazy. Exactly what you're saying. It's crazy not to wear a mask.
I mean, we got this.
It's so
we have this old folks home in our neighborhood that's like not a nice old folks home, as far as those people don't have. Their families aren't allowed to visit them right now.
Yeah.
But a lot of people there are just old and alone. It's sad.
Yeah.
Like, because I know them because I see them at Cumbies, I see them at the laundry place, and they go there and they hang out.
Yeah.
Just to like fucking hang, you know? And those people have had, this is like a prison sentence for them. I remember at the beginning, I used to see this dude. He was always out with me at like 1 a.m. walking around. And I remember thinking that's probably the only time he can go walk around.
Yeah.
Because he's like fucking 90. And he's thinking if I go out during the day, some dude who's like too cool to wear a mask is going to cough in my face. And I'm going to fucking die. You know, it just sucks. I mean, I get it. It's not, I don't like wearing the mask like either. And I have this weird thing where I keep ripping it off when I see people I know. I'm like, John, what's up? You know, it's me, your friend. It's stupid.
I think a lot of people are doing that. I've seen a lot of people.
And I catch myself like fucking touching it all the time. But I do think we got to shift it from like, they're taking my mask, they're taking my face rights and move it over into like, I'm helping.
I'm helping.
If you'll hold the door for an old person, let's hold your breath for an old person.
Yeah.
For a minute. You know, can we watch this? Oh, perfect. Holy shit. Who's a talk show host once in a blue moon? Fucking broken clock. I'm like Trump. I'm once right 1 in 100 times. I fumble into doing something correctly.
I'm a little mad. If you can't tell that already. Like I'm frustrated, but I don't feel good physically. Like I can tell you right now, I wasn't
I'm ready to
getting
torch
enough
this
oxygen, and I just
woman.
got on one of these little stupid things. I feel dizzy.
Okay, can you pause it for a second?
My hands
All right. Just want to focus. This woman said the word I maybe 10 times already. I feel I'm fucking like
And also,
nothing
This is her first time wearing the mask.
Yeah. No, this is my point. She's probably a pretty nice lady.
Yeah.
Hasn't given a thought yet about the fact that the point of this mask isn't to make her uncomfortable. The point of this mask is not to like punish the women of America and make them like not enjoy grocery shopping. And she just but it goes back to like our internet thing we were talking about before. It's like the fact that this woman even feels compelled to throw her iPhone on the thing.
Oh, I know.
I always laugh at these videos, and I filmed them myself. Until you upload it, you're just a crazy person who's videotaped themselves ranting. You know, like there's psychos. Back in the day, if you set up a video camera and was like play and sat down in front of it and was like, here's what I think about the government, like they'd make movies about you. You know what I mean? And now it's like this woman got in her car and she probably like this might have even been take 3. Like she got a couple into it and like the tears didn't come, you know?
Yeah.
But like, what the fuck even brings someone to the point where they feel like anyone needs to see this?
This is my theory that we've all been conditioned to reality shows and we all want. Like,
You're absolutely right. She's giving her confessional.
I watched the first season of Real Housewives of New York and they were all like, it's almost like they didn't really know what reality TV was. It was a little awkward.
You're dead
but
right.
we're all of us fall lock and
You're
step into
you
it
are
now.
so right.
It's so crazy.
And that's why documentaries suck now too, because no one's real in a documentary anymore because everyone knows like what a good documentary performance is.
Yeah.
So it's always the same like
Dateline's kind of the same too.
Yeah,
it's like the same thing.
Yeah, people know what to say like when they're being interviewed. Even on the news, you know.
It's so weird.
But anyway, let's let this fucking
Are kind of tingly. My heart is beating fast, so some of it's an emotional reaction, but some of it's a physical reaction. I understand the virus.
She has some
is
edits
edited.
too.
Yeah, she
I
edited.
didn't notice that before.
I understand the virus is real. Friends, look at the numbers and
By the way,
tell me why everybody's
this is what what's the word I'm looking for? Retarded people do when they're trying to look like they have any semblance of it. I think I've seen a smart person once in a movie make this hand gesture.
And everyone.
I'm going to add my own little touch to it. It's dumb slag of a woman.
living in fear. Tell me why we're putting these things on and not being able to breathe. I just want to cry. Like, that's all I want to do is cry because
Do
you
it.
can't see people's faces.
Can't see people's faces.
I just want to cry, so I am, because
I
it's
think
20.
she's never had a panic attack.
Yeah, it's just like, I kind of, actually, though,
I agree with
know-
a lot of what you're saying. That's the worst part. Like,
well, what's funny is she's
going
just
too
like
far.
talking about everyone's first time wearing the mask.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, like this is not a unique to you experience.
No.
And it's also like no one said it was going to feel like oral sex wearing the mask. Like no one said it was going to
No one
feel
said
good.
that.
But it's just funny that, all right, I'm sorry, let her keep going.
You can't make human connection. We can't hug people.
Stop. Human connection, hugging people, directly to the things we're trying to avoid right now. You also can't, like the fact she's just complaining about social distancing during a
can't
pandemic.
spit in your lover's mouth.
Like, yeah, can't go to work, can't go to a comedy show, can't go to a movie theater, can't fly to China,
I can only.
can't be an epidemiologist.
And now I'm a racist. I can't even get my nails done because I'm afraid.
Can't jog while black in Georgia. Can't fix the ozone layer. Can't get Bill Gates on the phone. Like, there's a lot of things you can't do. What else you got?
We can't hold their babies.
Nope.
Can't hold babies. No.
I'm at the end of it.
Now they're at
You
it.
can't hold the weakest members
I'm
of
just
society
simply
during a
at the end of
pandemic.
It doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. And I'm not okay with it.
All right, pause, please.
Nothing about
This doesn't make sense.
And
That's
I'm not
true.
okay with it.
To you, it does not make sense. I am not okay with it. That should be the title of this video. I'm confused, and I don't like that feeling.
I like the part where she's like, "I'm a good person."
That's
Yeah.
coming up, right?
I think so.
simply at the end of it doesn't make sense.
Everybody I know. She says something.
This doesn't make sense. And I'm not okay with it. Nothing about what we're doing is supported by the numbers that are out there. Those of you that know me, like I am one of the most compassionate, caring people you will ever meet. And
I gotta
do
say,
care
though,
about you.
She's like, she missed her calling, I think, as an actress, because she's.
This is good. Like this is decent.
It's acting, but it's good acting. And if you're a longtime listener, watcher of this show and me, I know that's not
You
a
don't say
common.
that. Oh, yeah.
I'll usually be like, "This is bad acting." I know right? That's like my common thing.
Yeah.
But she's actually like, she's good, and she hits those like perfect. Well, she hits. They call them
The
beats.
tears,
They call them beats in acting.
Okay.
Take a beat. The director would say like, "Take a beat here."
Okay.
She takes her own beats, man. She's like,
Because she clears the tears up real quick too.
"Oh
If I
yeah, yeah."
remember
No,
right.
it's all under. This is all under her control.
Yeah.
Vastly under her control. But I mean, I got to admit, she's a little too much with the hands.
Yeah.
Which is an annoying thing like Karens do. Like with the, we need to talk now. Like, ooh. Like,
Isn't that something actors like have to get over too? Like you like I have to do something with my hands.
yeah,
kinda?
a lot of, that would be like at the very beginning.
Yeah.
They're like, stop with the, I'm going over there. I drove here. It's like an instinct people do at the beginning. Well, I was driving here from my house. I'm like, it's just something people can't,
Flock of birds.
it's still a hard thing to do. Like even when it's something we experiment with when I shoot stuff, like one hand in the pocket, two hands in the pocket, one hand in the pocket, gesture with one hand.
Yeah.
That's why I get paid the big bucks. But let's let her finish.
But I also care about me and my children and my family. And I do care about my rights.
Oh wait,
It's
yeah, sorry.
probably
Hold
the
on,
last
pause for a
time.
second. That was so. It's just so
That's
funny.
what she was building to.
She's like, I am a compassionate person. Ask anybody.
It's like I'm not racist. Ask my black friend.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not homophobic. I kissed a girl at a party in college.
My hairstylist is gay.
Yeah, yeah. My son's soccer coach was once gay.
And then we didn't let him play soccer anymore. But
Yeah.
Very
She's
much, 'cause
just.
I feel terrible. I feel emotionally terrible, but I feel physically like it affected
Also,
me.
pause
So
it for a second. When she's, wow, I didn't even hear that one the first time around. She feels physically like an infected person. I would love them to just show that to someone like on a ventilator. And be like, You know what's hard to breathe through? This fucking tube going down my throat right now. But when she says a couple of minutes back, she's like, you don't have to go back, but she just goes, what we are doing is not supported by the science. It's like, no, actually, it kind of is.
Yes, some of it is.
Some of it is, but it's definitely not. Like, that statement is so broad and not.
Yeah.
It's like, what it really means is like, I've read some stuff that kind of goes against what I'm seeing we're having to do, and maybe that's right. Which is also like that I would take, you know?
Yeah.
It's just.
I just think the mask point is a bad point. Like, being against the quarantine, saying like some places are locked down for another 60 days, possibly.
No, telling people they can't work forever.
Yeah.
Thinking we're all just going to sit and wait for a vaccine forever. That was never the plan in the first place, though.
And I don't, I keep saying this, but vaccines don't fucking fall out of the sky. There hasn't been a lot of vaccines that actually are like all encompassing. Like a polio vaccine knocked polio out.
It'd be better.
The flu vaccine doesn't knock the flu out. Like,
more likely, it's going to be. We found a way to get corona to only take 3 days to work through your system.
Yeah, see, that's what like the antigen therapy that they're using. Like, they're using antibodies from people who were previously infected and giving it to people when they're at their sickest.
Yeah,
and it's not giving them immunity to it, but it's temporarily training their body just to fight it off a little better.
And that's
good.
That's the benefit. One of the things I think we have. One of the good news they don't report on every day is that there's every emergency room and every major good hospital in America is all working on the same illness at the same time.
Yeah.
They're all online sharing information on like the medical boards.
Yeah.
Like the peer reviewed boards.
Which is good and bad. Because one thing that's happening is they're like, oh, let's try these two drugs together.
That's true.
And then let's try these two.
But it works in the sense of getting people off ventilators.
Yeah, which was real bad.
Which was really bad and maybe killing a lot of people.
Yeah, like it's like causation or like correlation. You don't really know because the sickest people get the ventilators. So when 89% of them were dying, like they also were probably gonna fucking die. But ventilators in any walk of life, though, if you're on a ventilator, you're in bad shape.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
They don't want you there.
My dad was on one like post surgery.
Yeah.
That was hard to see.
Yeah, it's freaky, right?
Super freaky because you don't breathe naturally. You breathe like a robot.
That's the scary part because your body, just like it does with everything, once it gets something, it will stop doing that. And that's like really the danger because your body just was like, well, now I don't breathe. This does it. And then like it really. People who are real banged up, it really can retard their process. It's
retard.
I used it right.
Retard. Captain Picard's a retard. That's the Noonan show for you. Super serious moment. Ended by me being an idiot.
Did you see the Space Force flag?
Yep.
It's pretty badass.
Looks like Star Trek.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Star Trek, right?
I think the Space Force, people like to make fun of it, but I actually think this is another strike at China. Because I think China has, I really think like almost everything they're doing is to fight future China.
I was in a great short film called Space Force.
Were you?
That was, that Trace Gatos made.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Tony V was in it.
Yeah, Tony V was a star. It was great. It's on, you can find it online. Out there, but it was it's really good. It's still out in a bunch of festivals and stuff, but they were like the first people. I mean, now there's like a movie basically being made that's already made that's like,
or a TV show.
It's sort of a
Steve Carell.
I think it's a movie.
Oh, all right.
But
I just saw the trailer. It looks fucking awesome.
But is it a TV show?
I'm not really sure. It's on Netflix. I'm not sure what it is.
Who knows?
Steve Carell, Phoebe from Friends, what her real name is.
Lisa Kudrow.
Lisa Kudrow.
Met her once when I was a young acting student. Let's look at your favorite hoe, Lori Loughlin.
Oh, no.
She's in the city, Paul. She's in our city
She's
today.
always in the city, though. She's been here for a while.
She just comes here for trials, I think, and then flies out.
But
Paul loves Lori Lowe.
I love her fucking TV show, and I hope Hallmark.
Look at that pic.
I know, right? I hope Hallmark welcomes her back after she pays her debt to society.
That picture is brilliant. They fucking first of all, her husband took the
the brunt of it. He's going to do 5 months, and it's a $250,000 fine for him, and it's 2 months.
Prediction: they both do 0 months.
Yeah, like corona-related release.
Corona-related house arrest.
Dude, honestly though, I know I like her, but this isn't a real crime in my eyes. It really fucking isn't. If you're going to put someone in jail during a corona thing,
I don't think she should. I mean,
2 months.
But we sound like such white apologists. But
she didn't do anything. She got her dumb kid into college.
It is. I do feel like we've said this the whole way. We've maintained our hard line of support for the college bribe scandal on this show. But I remember I felt bad for because I was like, William H. Macy's married to one of these women. I love him. Yeah. I was like, and he's gonna waste all his money getting her out of this. I feel bad. I watched the footage of her coming out of court, and I was watching it, video footage, and I was thinking to myself, you can tell they're all asking her questions, with that classic. Slavin, do you feel bad? Are you worried about going to jail? Have you watched Tiger King? And she looks like the actress in her really wants to be like, I saw it, I loved it. Like, guys, I'm not afraid of going to jail. Like,
well, do you remember she did do that one of the first, maybe even the first couple of times?
You could tell she was obviously been coached to like not do that.
Yeah,
she looked like she was trying her best to control her image and walk without giving anything. And as soon as I saw this picture, I was like, they still got you. Like, cause it looked to me like she was like doing a pretty good job of just getting out of court. Like, like trying to give the media like not a lot to like, cause they just make a story,
Yeah.
And this is the story is like evil bitch who fucking like evil white bitch Lori Loughlin will do 4 months.
This
in prison.
Rich woman,
her husband Mossimo.
Yeah.
But he's gonna do 5 months. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Imagine both your parents going to jail for 4 and 5 months because you want like to try and get you into college. Like you're visiting them, you're like, I'm so sorry, like you guys are in here, but I've really been enjoying intramural frisbee golf. Like I've gone down on 5 Guys, which is a record in my house.
And crazy, I actually took up rowing.
I took up rowing, and the license plate on my new car was made by you, Dad.
I feel bad for them though, because they can get. I feel bad almost for everybody, because the whole college system is a racket, really.
It is a victimless. Well, I guess the victim would be someone who's gonna get into college.
Yeah,
legitimately.
But if you look into the whole story, these positions on these sports teams were basically there. They weren't scholarships, so they weren't taking away scholarships. They were just there for something like that.
They were like created.
Yeah, so you could like pick and choose a couple of people that you want in there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I heard a thing one time on a bowling podcast where this guy was like, I'm just going to straight up say it. If you're a girl and you want to go to college for free right now, like, bowl. You can come to this college, and if you want to bowl, like, you get a full scholarship.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of sports.
I don't care if you've ever bowled before. Like, he just said it on the thing. I was like, that's, like, not a reason to accept someone to a college, but fuck it.
Yeah.
Good. Like, get a free college education.
Hell yeah.
That's like a movie to me,
Yeah.
How are you here?
Well, it's like
full ride?
It's fucking Bert Kreischer. He took Russian and didn't really take Russian.
Yeah.
And the lady just needed the bodies.
The body to get the thing. I mean, the world works like Bert Kreischer is a perfect example of how like you can get through life. Like
I've fantasized about that deal in school so many times when I was younger. Just somehow like I could just get some dirt on a teacher or something. I'm like,
leverage over a teacher. But yeah,
but I hope Hallmark welcomes her back.
I think
I
so.
like her movie. Like she does.
I think the most people think the way we think.
Yeah.
What else you like? Fuller House?
No, I never really fucking was into Fuller House. I like her. It's garage sale mystery. She solves South Garage Sale Mysteries. It doesn't always make sense. It's kind of like Murder, She Wrote, where it's like this lady keeps getting into these situations.
So she's
It's like the 10th episode.
She's the common denominator.
Yeah, but they're fun. They're fun, silly little things.
The fucking, maybe she's the murderer. Joe Rogan signed up. I heard upwards of 100 millions.
Oh, nah. Did you see how much the Spotify value went up though?
I did.
Like $3 billion or something.
Yeah,
I remember. So it's a bargain. 100 million is a bargain. What do you think about it?
I heard. I suspect. Have you seen that the Call Her Daddy Barstool thing? Have you seen that?
No.
So Call Her Daddy is like the most popular Barstool podcast.
Okay.
And it's a really popular. It's like almost as popular as Rogue. It's like one of those top 10 iTunes all the time. And they have a pretty good deal at Barstool.
Yeah.
And they're created from Barstool. And they have a pretty good deal there. Like 100,000 an episode each.
Wow.
So they have a pretty good deal there. And then they all of a sudden last week, like, we're trying to get out of it legally. And we're like, and it was big in social media. It was like because Portnoy's such like a prick. He was like on like, why these girls trying to quit? I gave them their whole fucking career. Like, what a bunch of ungrateful fucking twats. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like doing his Portnoy thing. But then when I heard that Joe Rogan signed that, I was like, bet ya money Spotify was like, you guys want $50 million?
Yeah.
Like, Spotify's doing what Netflix did. They're just like, bye. Yeah. Like, this is our last gasp. Like, we're either gonna not exist in 2 years or we're gonna fucking spend our budget, throw money at this. And getting a guy like Joe Rogan is just, it's
big.
It's exactly the same as when Sirius XM was like, we need to succeed.
Yeah.
Hire Howard Stern.
It's exactly like
Rogan
that.
is the Howard Stern of now, as far as who's the number one.
Hell yeah.
Like, it's
not
LeBron.
It's not Marin.
He's
anymore,
LeBron. Like,
so,
who can you put on your team and just instant championship, Instant, at least, shot at the championship.
Do you think it's a good thing though for the landscape?
I do think it marks. I love Joe Rogan. He's obviously an inspiration to all of us.
Yeah.
In so many ways. And I'm a huge fan. Massive fan. But I do think it marks the end of an era.
Yeah, another end, really. I think it's like the Red Band era.
Yeah.
That other one, and then...
Yeah, it does. But it marks the end of, like, the Libsyn.
Yeah.
Like, when Joe Rogan is on Libsyn with you're in Bill Burr, you feel like, that's like, we're all part of the podcasting. Like,
yeah,
you pay your own monthly bill and you make your own money.
Yeah.
And now when the number one guy goes to what's really a network,
a licensing deal.
Now it's
different.
like podcasting has now gone full circle now and just become
radio, right?
Radio
or
again.
Whatever
TV,
it is. Radio, yeah.
Which is, it took 20 years to do that. Or it took like 15, 20 years to do that. That's normal and natural. But I was like, and it had already kind of happened,
Yeah.
What is iTunes other than a free version of Spotify that Apple gives us? It's all.
Yeah. I'm more interested. Sorry, go.
So just to like fully come around, like, I was like, end of the era, but that was like, it's also sort of like, I think that's what Joe Rogan kind of like deserves in a way, because it's like he was already really wealthy, but now it's like, here's $100 million. Like, you and your kids and your wife will never worry. Like, your grandkids will never worry about money again. And you can take a step back a little bit probably and do like 1 or 2 shows.
Yeah.
Less. I think this is all like, just, you feel like someone when you listen to their podcast,
Yeah, you do.
I was like, I bet COVID had something to do with it, He seems like the kind of guy who, like,
could have.
Mortality is.
I think he's been talking about this for a while without telling us.
Yeah.
He's been saying that he doesn't understand why there's only one YouTube. He kept saying that over and over, and now, and that, to me, that's the best thing of this whole thing, because it takes a little power from YouTube. Because if Spotify can have
a lot,
live podcasts,
$3 billion worth.
Yeah,
when you think about it,
so that's a big thing. Like, that's a bit. We need more than one YouTube. Like, even us, like, with that stupid fucking crack video.
No, it's killing us.
Like,
like, I was talking to Eric Nagel, who were trying to get We're gonna get him on soon. We haven't had anyone else on, so it's not like we're like. But it's when YouTube doesn't. When you're not on their like list of things they want, like you're buried, you know.
Yeah. And you have no recourse. Like they're like a big giant. It's like a big giant wall. That you have to go through. Like it's crazy. So
it's weird that there's just one. I mean, Vimeo exists, but
not the way.
You got to go where the people are. Twitch. It's coming. Pornhub.
Yeah.
But so I was like, wow. So many things change so fast. Everything's just always changing now. Tom Brady's gone. There's no more sports. We're all gonna die. Joe Rogan's on Spotify. You know what I mean? I was like, just another fucking domino. But my first reaction was a little bit of melancholy, but then I was kind of like, good for Joe Rogan. Like, I'm still gonna listen.
Yeah, I'm a little excited for it in a way.
It's already.
But I wonder if Red Band gets a kickback from it. I hope he does.
I was thinking that.
Fucking hope he does.
I hope he always got like a little bit of, like a percentage or something. I always assumed he did, judging by the way his stuff looks on like Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah. You sent me before this Rogan thing. You sent me a thing about Rogan. Someone was talking about, was Rogan's podcast better when it was in like a apartment essentially instead of this massive professional studio?
So I saw this thing on Reddit and it got kind of huge where someone was like, Joe Rogan needs to
go back, and it was a fan of Rogan.
It was a huge fan.
The way he said it, like
it was in the Joe Rogan subreddit, and it was like Joe Rogan. I mean. Part of it made me laugh reading it. I'm like, this is obviously like a really young guy wrote this. Because like Joe Rogan's not just the guy you hear for 3 hours on the podcast. Like he's a father.
Yeah.
Like I'm reading this. I'm like, yeah, you think maybe Joe Rogan's wife and kids want to move to fucking like Stockton and like live like normal people? No, they're like, we like the Fear Factor house. We like the house that Fear Factor bought. And the kids like going to like rich kid school, you know? And they love having 80 dogs and all that shit. But, so the article was like, Joe Rogan should move to a small town and work a regular job for like a year.
Yeah. But it was also saying just go back to the regular studio too.
Yeah.
And not have like a fancy, basically radio station.
Well, that's what's happened though, man.
Exactly.
It's all that now. I mean, even what we're doing right now is a radio show that's got video cameras now. Yeah, Tim Dillon has his black room. He's like the new Charlie Rose.
So fucking
everyone's just like doing their thing.
He's so funny.
But that's all because of Opie and Anthony did it on radio stations.
Yeah.
And then podcasting came out, and it's like Joe Rogan just became the man because I think he just got it. He was like, man, people just want to listen to this shit.
People want to like hang.
They want the long one, you know?
Yeah.
And the in-depth.
He has a wide range of interests too. I think that's served him well. Like
he's a great interviewer. Like he should get that credit he should get that same credit that Stern gets. I always thought that. I was like, and I think especially over the course of, not to brag, but I'm an old time fan of the show, like because I'm a stand up. Like, so I listened to him and Fitzsimmons like early episodes and it's like, he's gotten so good at interviewing people. He used to
listening.
He used to be kind of like he used to talk to everyone like they were a comedian, you know?
Yeah.
Now he can really interview these important people and ask. He always asks the question that you wish he would ask.
Yeah.
And that's a sign of like a great.
What show do you like better though? The Red Band one or the Jamie one? The more professional one or the?
No, I liked it back in the day, but
see, me too. I like it when they were Blitzkrieg stoned all the time, and like I like that.
A lot of like when guys would take like breaks a lot, and
I like Red Band is doing podcasts again, and one of them it kind of has the spirit of the old Joe Rogan. It's called Brothers in Cursive.
Yeah.
2 comedians. I know I'm not really too familiar with
we all
either
do,
of them,
but that's the whole thing though. It's like we all do the Joe Rogan podcast now, or like Opie and Anthony Light. It's funny, man. It's an interesting. I don't have a problem with it at all, though. Any of it, and like this is kind of the problem sometimes with Opie, and it's the problem with just life. Really, is like these people change. Like Joe Rogan is not supposed to be the same guy he was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
we're not. Like he's not.
If you are, you're probably not fucking doing something right.
Yeah, like Bill Maher's been the same for fucking 30 years. Who gives a fuck?
Who cares about Bill Maher now?
But it's You know, Anthony's changed in like a way we like. Opie's changed in a way we don't like. You know, Rogan's going through some changes, I think, because he's a guy. He's an older guy. Like, people get older. People like, and I remember saying that to you about Opie, like way before we started doing this, when I was just listening opening and gym a lot, and I was like, Opie is like off the show. Like, he's like losing interest in the show.
Yeah, he's done
because he's done with like. He just like hit 50 something and was like, man, like jokes about pedophiles don't make me laugh anymore. Like,
I hope that never fucking happens.
I know, but I was like listening.
I get it though.
Listening on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It was like the first couple of times you're like, Opie, whiten up.
Yeah.
But then after a little while, you're kind of like,
it's just what he is.
I get it. Like, he's just kind of sick of it. You start to hear it in his voice, you know, and he wanted to do more like, I think he still wanted to have fun and joke, but it was, and do comedic stuff.
Yeah.
But he was getting more like, I think he was getting more like, he wanted his show to be like what Stern had done. Like, he was like, all right, yeah, we're still going to have like some jokes, but like, I'm going to interview someone for an hour an episode, and it's going to be like real, you know?
Yeah.
But then when the person would actually be there, he'd want to be the funniest guy in the room and like wouldn't interview them, you know? So it'd all go to shit anyway.
But don't you think he might not even know what he wanted?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, because I've always feel like I'm like that. I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Same here. And I feel like I changed. Like, I listen to myself all the time, and I'm like, man, like, I'm getting older. I can hear it in my voice, or the things I want, or my desires. You know, it's just life, and by desires, I mean, like, oh, I enjoy sandwiches. Like, I as I get older, I'm like, oh God, a lot of this hacky stand up I've hated like over my life. I like all of a sudden understand, you know, like the stupid Tim Allen shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, it just happens, man. Like, you just like start to go like, man, I really enjoy a good sandwich, and I like a nice long shit, and like, man, my wife won't shut the fuck up. Like, you just start to like go, there's a reason why all that stuff's hacky. Like, you gotta stay away from it. And I catch myself doing things like that, but I don't know.
Do you feel yourself pushing back though? Like, you feel yourself say progressing, but then you also like, I don't fucking want to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like rip yourself back.
I mean, I know at my core I'm still like a juvenile man, but I get those like. But I just remember really hearing that in Opie's voice and kind of thinking that's kind of like sort of an unfair thing about show business is like.
We want you to always be the same thing.
It's when we first met you, too. It's like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, you know, they've been around now for like 30 years, and or 20 years, and we're always like, oh, look who's fat, or look who's bald, or it's like, yeah, we're all fat and bald, man. Like, most people are fat and bald like 20 years after they fucking are 29 and like smoking 4 packs a day. You know? I got my coffee. I got my hand sand.
Everything's coming up, William.
So you want to do some Patreon stuff?
Let's do it.
I want to say
you will have a dog by the next show.
I'll have a dog by the next show, and I got some stuff coming up in June, like some more internet stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
More live internet comedy in June, but like more with like some pretty good comedians. Like, so check them out.
That's awesome.
Check my Twitter for more info coming up on that.
All right, we'll be back next week.